Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at BTC. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so I want to talk about our bullish count first. So this is looking for a direct break to the upside here. And what we are saying within this is effectively we are looking at this as a potential 1-2 here, already completed, looking for this 41,917 as a confirmation. So this would be saying that we are actually building this third wave now. And what we would want to do is continue to maintain these lows that we have here towards this 29,507, this low of this 29,716, and as well as that, this low that we have here at this 30,222. For as long as these lows hold, we can potentially look for this direct bullish move to the upside. So with this bullish move to the upside, what we are saying is that we could have this as a 1-2. Now, the problem that I have with this count is that this is relying on a lot of choppy wave structure here. So we need to see this prove itself. Nevertheless, as long as we stay above 29,701, then potentially we could be looking for a third wave to the upside here. Our target for this would actually be this 32,852. So what I'd want to see is a 5-wave move up into this zone, looking to take out this 32,852 as a potential target. Now, if we are looking at the internals here, there are a couple of ways that we can look at this. We could argue this is 1-2 here. Now, the problem with counting this as a 5-wave structure is you would have to say that we had 1, 2, 3 here, 4, and then the 5th wave is the wave that actually extended, and then we'd be saying that this is a wave 2 into this point. Now, the 1618 is actually a little bit higher up here, which would be this 32k region. So we need to be careful because we can count this as a 3-wave move to the upside as well. We did come up here and sweep this 31,765 like we've been talking about for a while now. It is possible that this third wave could be over here, but then we'd need to see this 4th wave stay above this wave 1 high, which is sitting here at this 31,045. So we have come down here once already. The only way this would make sense is that if we're going to get something like a triangle here, in which case this 4th wave would actually then hold above this wave 1 high, and then we'd see a 5th wave to the upside here, looking for this target area over here. So we need to just be aware this is a possibility, but it is becoming less likely the more I'm looking at it, because I would have more confidence if we hit this 32,000 area as a 1618. Nevertheless, if we do see an additional push to the upside here, and an additional 4th and a 5th, this could potentially look to push us up towards this 32,818 to this 32,482. So that would be looking at this as this direct push to the upside. Like I said, I don't have as much confidence within this count just because the internals of it are looking a bit choppy. Now, we could also argue that this is still extending out, where this becomes 1-2, 1-2, and we're actually looking for a bigger push to the upside. To explain this idea of this overlap over here. Now, if we are looking at this, what we could argue is that this whole move here is a wave 1 and a 2, and then we're looking for this bigger third wave towards this 33,474. So what we need to see here is we need to see 30,210 hold, and then we need to see a 3-wave move down here, followed by a nice strong impulsive move to the upside towards this 33,474 if this move is still looking to extend out. But like I said, we need to just be careful. There are bearish counts here. So if we are looking at this in another way, what we could also argue is that we could say that there's something like a diagonal here. Now, invalidation would come by crossing this wave 2 down here, and what we'd be looking for here effectively would be that this is 1, this is 2. We look at this move here rather as A, B, and C internally, with this as a B wave, in which case what we're looking for is a 3-wave move for a wave 4, and then this wave 5 to the upside. Now, it is possible that for as long as this low holds here at this 30,108, what we could see is that this price could do something like this, and we just have a 5th wave that's a lot smaller here. Alternatively, what we could see is something along these lines, where we come back into this trend line and possibly look to test this area before looking for this 5th wave to the upside. Now, invalidation of this to the upside would be if we did come back into this line, would be by crossing above 32,618. But this is because if we're having a contracting diagonal here, we do not want this wave 5 to be longer than this wave 3. So it needs to be shorter than this wave 3 if this is the case. Now, this can also be part of a bearish count, so we're going to go over that now. But effectively, the difference with this is what we'd be looking for if we are getting a diagonal here and we're going to get a push to the upside afterwards. What we'd be saying is that this is going to become wave 1, we'd get wave 2, and then we'd be looking for that wave 3. So this is why it's important, for as long as we hold these lows here, we do have potential to see this price move to the upside, but we just need to be cautious because it is very choppy and it can still be a lot of things. If we did get a 5-wave structure like this as a diagonal to the upside here, and we move back down and hold this zone of this 30,164, I would be on that lookout for that possibility of that continuation up then in either a third wave or a wave C. So we need to just be on the lookout for that. If we do get this A, B, and C, then possibly we could have a bigger corrective structure forming here. Alternatively, that 1.618 is going to be our target if we are looking at this as a 1-2, which would align with that idea of pushing up higher into this 1618 up here for this bigger wave 3 here. So we need to just be aware that sometimes when we start an impulse, we do build things like this before it actually gets going. So we need to just be on that lookout for that possibility. We could see that direct continuation to the upside. Now, looking at this move in that corrective way, we're still arguing that we could be looking for this move back down here into the support zone here of this 28,693 to this 26,084. So there's a couple of ways that this could actually take place if we are looking at this as a bullish structure where this is actually going to be our wave 1 and then we're looking for this as a wave 2. What we could still say here is that we could be getting something along these lines where we're getting this as a bigger A, B, and a C. Now this A wave can technically move over here as well. It doesn't really change things that much. It just puts the target a little bit higher here. But effectively, the same idea would be in play where this becomes a bigger B wave here, and then we look for a C wave down. So this is what I'm just being cautious of, because there is going to be a lot of positions that have been opened in this area. So it really wouldn't surprise me to see some kind of a C wave down as a sweep here, where we look to actually come down here and look to sweep some of these lows. Now, if we did have to move down here in this way, an interesting zone would actually be this 1618, but we do also have this 29,399 as the higher range of an expanding flat that we need to keep an eye on. Now, the reason this is interesting to me is because this also would align with the 0.382 retracement here. And if we do look to push down into some of these lower ranges, now it wouldn't be my primary expectation to come down to this 2.618 down here. But if we do see something like this, we see price come back down in a 5-wave structure into this zone, it is technically possible this could be a flat correction. So I would be looking out for this idea of coming back into this 27,139 to this 26,935 as a possible target if this does start to get a bit excited to the downside. Now the problem is if we do get a 5-wave move here, we always have to be careful of that possibility of continuation to the downside here. Now, if we are talking about this as a B wave, the way I'm currently looking at this is that this could be an A, this could be a B, and we could be looking for this as that diagonal option for the C wave. So what I'm looking for here is we have met this 1-to-1 already here. So if we do see price push up one more time here, potentially what we could see is this 32,066 as our 5th wave area. If we do see this move push up, like I said, what we need to be on the lookout for is that if we do have this as an ABC pattern here, if we do hold support above this low, then potentially we can look for continuation up. If, however, we start to break this low, then effectively this would put this count into play. And what we'd be looking for is that possibility of this C wave to the downside looking to play out. So that's going to be key here. If we do see one more push to the upside here, going to be looking for that idea that we're still within the B wave. Now, there's other ways that we could look to move down into this support zone that we've got over here. And I'm just going to go over a couple of them. We do have that potential that we were talking about as well, that this is W, this is X, and we get this as an A, a B, and a C. So we need to be on the lookout for this as well, because we are right within that typical rejection box for a B wave. So if this Y wave is actually an ABC pattern, then potentially what we could see is a move down towards this 1-to-1, which would be here at this 29,451. Alternatively, if we do look to push down deeper into this target box over here, possibly what we could get is a move into this 1236 to this 1618. Now, this would align with coming back into that 0.382 area once again. So this is why I'm saying, it does matter, but this area is going to be a support zone within a few of these different counts. So either way, I will be looking for that possibility of that continuation there. Now, we were also talking about the possibility that we could actually look to complete this fifth wave here, in which case what we could have is that this could just be a flat, where we have a flat for an A wave, we have this as a B wave, look to complete here. Now invalidation for these ideas would be coming by pushing up too high past this 3246, but technically speaking it could still move up to that 1618, which would be higher up towards this target line here. So if we do see this as a three wave move down here, the key difference is that within this count, what we'd be saying here is that effectively the wave A would actually be this. So we could say that this is just a completed move and then we look to move up. Or alternatively, we get something like this as a flat, we get a three wave move up and then we still look to push down deeper. So this is why, you know, if we do look to push down in a bigger way here, we get this C wave, we need to watch how we react. Three waves up could indicate that we still come back down and look to test some of these lower levels. Now the reason why I'm talking about some of these lower levels here is that if I turn this on, now this is looking very messy, but effectively what these lines are here are naked points of control lower down here. So within this structure, what I'm looking out for is that if we do see a price move to the downside here, we do have a cluster of naked points of control sitting between this zone here of this 27171 and this 26402. Now this would align nicely with coming back into this channel and also looking to retest some of this structure. As well as that, higher up here we do have some highs that I'm keeping an eye on, as well as this one here with the 50%, and then at this 0.382 we do have a daily naked point of control sitting in this zone here. Now this would also be looking to come back into some previous structure here as well. So I would be keeping an eye on this. If we do see price break down into these levels, potentially we could look to find support in this zone. So this is why, you know, we're looking out for this. We need to just see how the market actually progresses here. We do have a bullish count here, but it is very choppy at the moment. We need to just be on the lookout for that possibility that we could see that continuation, but we need to continue to see these lows hold here. Otherwise, it starts to become unlikely that we're going to see that that continuation. Now, one other thing I want to talk about here is that if we were talking about this possibility where actually we have an A wave into here, it is always possible then that we could see a bigger B wave to the upside here, where this is still not completed, where this actually, instead of being A, B, C into this high, or whether we look at this as an A, B, and a C, what we could see is that this whole move becomes A, B, C for an A wave. We see a three wave move to the downside, looking to actually retest this zone of this 30,996 to this 30,544, and then still see continuation down. So this is why, if we want to see that impulsive structure, or if we want to see that bullish move actually play out, we need to start breaking some of these 1618 levels to the upside. Otherwise, it just is looking so corrective that it could just still look to flush. So need to see this confirmed, but effectively within this case, what we'd be looking for would be the possibility of another push to the upside here, possibly between this 1236 and this 1618, just sitting up here at this 32489. Now, if we do start to push above the 1618, then obviously we do have that idea of that bullish count. But if we just see this happen in three waves, something like this, possibly this 0.618 of this A wave could be an interesting area because of this 1236. We also do have this 0854 sitting at this 32,389 and this 32,276 level. Potentially interesting areas, as well as that 32k as a psychological level could be quite an interesting zone to keep an eye on. Now the idea with this is that, you know, even if we do see something like this, this could still mean that we get that continuation down. So really, if we are looking for a bullish count here, what I would want to see is a move above this 33,474 if we're looking at this in this way, where this is extending to the upside here. Alternatively, if we're getting a diagonal pattern here, I want to see this develop as 1, 2, 3, get another three wave move to the upside here, and then we get a three wave move down and hold this low. So that's going to be the key thing here between these counts. Having a look at the daily CPR here, what we can see is that we're currently between these central lines. Now, we failed to actually break above this 31,312, and we lose this lower zone here of this 31k region. What this could mean is price could be gravitated towards some of these lower targets, which would be this 3529. We have this 29,617. We have this 28 980, and this lower area you have this 28k. So those are downside targets for today if we do start to lose these central lines. So this one would align with coming into support, and then some of these lower targets would align with that idea of starting to see a break to the downside here. So we need to be on the lookout for that. If we do, however, maintain these levels here, what we could see is price could actually be gravitated to the upside. 32k is our S1 line here, so this would be interesting because this would align with this idea of a fifth wave. If it's looking to extend, however, what we could see is price move towards this 32.722, this 33.645, and this 34.268 as potential upside targets for today. Now looking at the weekly, what we can see is that we've come up here and we have these central lines still as support lower down here between this 30,600 and this 30,306. Now if we do look to actually continue to hold this S1 line here, potentially we could see price move to the upside here towards this 32.252 and this area here, this 33k throughout this week. Now price can potentially move down here, find support, come back up, do something like this. So that's always something that's worth keeping an eye on. Alternatively, if we do start to break down and we start to lose these central lines, then potentially what we could see as targets for to the downside would be 29.407. We have this 28.646 and this level here of this 27.606 as a possible target to the downside for this week. So these would align with the idea of actually coming back down here, looking for that possibility of that B wave. We do have some confluence here, particularly between this S2 line and this 0.382 that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. But as well as that, we do have this S3 line sitting lower down here towards this this area of this 50%. So worth keeping an eye on that as the week goes on. Now for the month, what we are looking at here is that we are still above these central CPR lines. If we do see price come back to the downside here, potentially we could look to find support here at this 29,690. We have this area here of this 28,904, this 28,100 as potential support lower down. If we do look for upside targets here, what we still have open for this month is this 32,900, which would align with coming to that 33k level. We do have this 35,500, and then we also have this higher level here of this 39,600. Now we don't have to hit these targets, but these are just potential pivot points within the market. Now if we do start to lose these levels, then we do have this R1, which is aligning quite nicely with that idea of coming back into the channel here, which is sitting towards this 26,394. We do have this 22,230 and this low range of this 19,747 as possible downside targets for this month. So if we do start to lose some of these support zones, then we need to be careful of that idea of looking to break down in a bigger way. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.